Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet the great Deidra McGriff. She's an author, she's a speaker, she's a best-selling book author, and she's going to talk about how to become forever free next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, it's been said that we're all in a prison of our own making. Some people are in a prison of debt. Some people are in a prison of addiction. My next guest is the author of the best-selling book, Forever Free. Deidra McGriff is in the studio, and she's here to tell us how to walk in total freedom. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Jeff, and
Absolutely.
I appreciate being a guest here today.
We'll share a little bit of your journey, because it has not been a smooth road. It's been a bumpy road.
Yes, it has. And, Forever Free kind of started. I had a lot of issues, as most people do. I was raised by a grandmother that, kind of helped me. I had a mom who had battled mental illness. And so my grandmother was kind of like the main person that was over me. And so I had a lot of issues, right? And a lot of trauma. Because, I always wanted things to be normal and my mother to be well. And so, I dealt with a lot of trauma, a lot of issues, a lot of emotional baggage, too, at the time. And so, Forever Free, it became something that I really lived out. I ended up having to walk out. I had to kind of deal with a lot of those issues. And I didn't realize why I was so overly emotional, because I still needed to deal with a lot of that trauma from not having my mom around, my mother being in and out of the mental institution. So Forever Free was something that I developed a relationship with the Lord myself. And then I had to lean on him. And just like a father, he became everything to me, right? So he became everything to me. So he literally, like a parent, just walked me through my own deliverance, my own how to get out of debt, my own how to get my emotions back in order, my own how to get free financially. So it was something that I really walked out first myself, and I leaned on a spiritual parent to help me. So Forever Free was something that I really walked and lived out myself first.
So powerful. We're going to put your book cover up on the screen so people can see this. When did this book come out?
The book came out in 2010. And so it was before the internet. And, and it was just, it went very well. So what happened was it was way before the internet was really, out there. So I did it the old school way. And then a lot of people got the book, was blessed by the book. But then many years later, once around COVID time, I went ahead and just re-released the book. But it actually came out way before all the internet stuff.
Well, and you were telling me before we started the show that people will start reading your book and they can't put it down and they're staying up till midnight reading your book. And that's got to feel good.
It does. It make you feel good because one of the things that people always say, they like, hey, I read your book. They was like, I was into that book all night. Or they say it was simple, but it's powerful. So basically, I get this a lot. Like, it's very simplistic, but powerful. And a lot of people say because of the simplicity of the book, they keep going back to it. Like, they have it by their bed. It's like, I keep going back over and over and meditating on those things.
Yes, I love that. All right, so not to be outdone, you wrote a second book. Let's go ahead and put this on the screen. It's been me all the time. And I love the cover artwork. Tell us about that vision you had for the cover.
I feel like that God kind of carried me through the storms of life. When I was confused, kind of lost with all that little girl, with all the trauma, dealing with my mom. And so I feel like it was like how God carried me, how he nursed me, how he, got me back to where I needed to be, in my original state, emotionally, mentally, financially. So he carried me through, and that's what that cover, the vision for that cover, like how he loved me back.
Yes. And it reminds me of that very famous story, God, why did you desert me? Why did I only see one set of footprints? And that was when he was carrying us, and he's carrying us all the time, isn't he? Why don't you preach it a little bit?
Oh, man. Because sometimes you don't feel it, but he's still doing it. Even when you don't see it, you don't feel it, because he's so methodical, and many times he works behind the scene. And like you said, you don't know how you're getting through all the stuff that you're getting through, but just like that footprints, he was carrying me, even in that just very troubled childhood, wanting my mom to be just like every normal person, like to come to the school meetings and do all that stuff. And I was so hurt, so traumatized by that, but God was still carrying me. And little did I know that all of those pain points would be used to help so many women around the world now.
So beautiful. Well, tell me about your ministry, and where do you see all this going?
The ministry was birthed from Forever Free. I would have never in a million years would have thought that this book would birth the ministry of Forever Free. And the ministry has been around like about 3.5 years. It started with the local women and ministering to them. And then it just kind of morphed. And now it's been national, with women all over the world. And then we have international, some people coming on from international. So I guess, you know what? When you share your story, you make connection, especially with women too. When you make that connection, people feel your pain points. They know that you're coming in a genuine place. I guess it just resonated with a lot of women. The message of freedom, the message, and the answer was Christ, him. And so I think that as that message of hope, resonated with people, it just kind of just like a little fire, just kind of caught on fire. And the ministry just kept growing and growing and growing. And here I am today, helping women all over, broken women, just like I was.
Sure. All right, Deidra, in the last 2 minutes, why don't you look into the camera on the left and talk to the woman who is struggling, who feels broken right now.
I like when they talk about the potter want to put you back together again. And, I think when you're broken, the biggest thing you have to get healed of, you have to get healed of God's love. Because whether you're an insecure woman, it doesn't matter what your issue is, you can't get forever free until you experience the true love of God. And for me, that's what I needed. I didn't need a man at that time. Like sometimes I'm just saying that's an additive, but what I needed first, the foundation, I needed the love of a father to help me, to love me, to help me to get my life back together again. The potter wants to put you back together again. So I think just finding out and developing and working on that relationship with him, getting to know your Heavenly Father in a way that's intimate, not religion, not rules, but really getting to know him, getting in your word, spending time, because it's the love of God that really caused me to get forever free. And I would encourage anyone, it's the love of God. That's your foundation, because before anything can get free, you have to understand how much he loves you. You have to really, really know how much he loves you. That's where it all starts at.
Deidra, so powerful. I could listen to you all day. Let's end with her Facebook page. We'll put that on the screen. The great Deidra McGriff. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Tim.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.